Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headphones UK Dark Crystal Age of Resistance streams, episode 2. I'm George.
And I'm Rocky.
So, yeah, we're going to be looking at Dark Crystal Age Resistance episode 2.
Mhm.
But let's do a quick recap of the first episode for those who missed it. And you'll probably be better to do this, Rocky, because I'm still trying to remember all the character names.
Okay, well, so the Skeksis, which are these bird things which rule this kingdom, they've been getting their power so they can live forever, I guess, from the dark crystal in question. It's not working so well anymore. So one of them got the bright idea to use it to drain essence from these little guys called Gelfling. And the Gelfling's boyfriend caught him doing that. So that's a whole thing. Meanwhile, the princess of the Gelfling is, one, realizing that the government is corrupt, and two, saw this weird symbol appear in her library, so she's trying to go investigate that. And then finally, third character, we've got Deet. She's been talking to this tree, which told her that something really bad is going to happen to the planet soon, so she's got to go figure that out, talk to the queen and all that. That's basically it in a nutshell.
That's basically it so far, yeah. So with the second episode, we're getting a lot more of... we get a few new characters in this episode. Well, both new in terms of brand new and new in terms of characters from the previous movie that have been brought back. Mm-hmm. So hello, Paul Rollo. Hello.
Hello.
So one of the characters that they've brought back is Aughra, who was one of the major supporting characters of the first movie. She basically acted as the mentor to the main character. And in my review, I referred to her as Rosie O'Falk, because to me, she looks like a cross between Rosie O'Donnell and Peter Falk, because she's only got one eye.
Mm.
I actually, in the review, I said she was played by Frank Oz, which technically is true. She is puppeteered by him, but she's not voiced by him, which I initially thought. Rocky informed me on that. So she's voiced by somebody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's back. And similar to her role in the previous movie, she acts as kind of the forebearer of doom as to how things are going to be changing and things are going to be going bad. So she doesn't do that much in this episode, more or less just kind of gets introduced and establishes that she's going to be going off.
Mm-hmm.
So, as Paul Rollo, how's your Easter? I've had a very lovely Easter weekend. Thank you very much.
Yeah, happy Easter, everyone.
Yes, happy Easter. Yeah, I just realized it's Easter Sunday today. So, yes, happy Easter. But we also get to see more of the... So, hang on. Yeah, more of the podlings, which we saw them in the previous episode, but we do get more of a focus on them this time. So they are sort of smaller creatures than even the Gelflings that act as kind of servants to the bigger creatures like the Skeksis and such.
Mm-hmm.
And I compared them to Ewoks in my original review, but ironically, the Dark Crystal came out the same year as Return of the Jedi. No, sorry, Return of the Jedi actually came out the following year to Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
So sort of like these guys actually got there first with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we see more podlings. In particular, we see one who I presume he's becoming a major supporting character.
Who, Hup?
Yes, Hup.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there he is, Hup.
Mm-hmm.
Who I said when we were watching this just now, the way he talks and the way he moves, he reminded me a lot of Pepe the Prawn.
Yeah, I never thought of that, kind of.
So see if I can just play this bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't understand.
So yeah, there's one thing is that the podlings kind of speak in this broken English where they don't speak proper English or really anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just speak. They kind of.
Oh, hi, Anna.
Yeah. So. What is that profile picture? It looks like Vladimir Putin.
Not sure.
Oh, well, hello, Anna.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the podlings speak in this broken English. It's like I said when we were watching it, it's like the podling equivalent of franglais. They're mostly
Mhm.
speaking in their native language, but inject a few words of English every once in a while.
Mhm.
But it's interesting as a kind of unique form of communication because we kind of have to guess what they're saying along with Deet because she can't understand what he's saying either.
Mhm.
And it's also when in a very so Anna's just said it's her DAI character.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
I was wondering what that was. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, now we know.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a really interesting thing in terms of how the puppetry works. That a lot of how they communicate comes from the way they move and the way they emote. So it really shows quite an impressive thing there.
Mhm.
And it also kind of relates back to how the first Dark Crystal movie was supposed to be, because in that movie, a lot of the characters weren't supposed to speak at all.
Right.
So it's kind of going back to that original idea, which is quite clever.
But now they have the technology to make the puppets a bit more lively and emotive.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes.
hmm
But yeah, so basically, Deet has ventured out of her underground world. So, well, we've been comparing her to events from Zelda a lot. So, yeah, effectively, she's gone out from the underworld.
Yep.
Or what was it called in Tears of the Kingdom? The below place?
I'm not sure.
But yeah, you know what I mean. The world underneath Hyrule to come up to the surface world. And as you can see here, she's wearing a blindfold, which I was a bit curious about why she was at first, but then they show a POV, which see if I can get a bit here. Yeah, so it's effectively what she's doing is wearing sunglasses. So she's seeing through the mesh of the fabric because obviously since she spent all her life underground, bright sunlight would be quite hurtful on her eyes, which I thought was a really clever idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Though it makes you wonder, did anyone explain to her about sunscreen?
Well, that's an interesting question, considering her skin is green. What would being sunburnt make her skin turn into? So, now let's see if we can. Yeah, there she is. So yeah, it's like if she goes green, like what would it go like when grass gets sun bleached? Would it go yellow?
Oh, maybe.
So Anne's just said podlings are kind of like Czech immigrants, and gelflings refuse to speak their language, so broken common is for them. Which I did actually refer to the term common, which is the D&D equivalent of English, while we were watching this, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. What's kind of interesting in this is it shows that like the Gelfling, even though they're the subservient people to the Skeksis, they're not the best people either.
Yeah. As also Anna points out, yeah, Thra does have 3 sons.
Oh no.
Yes. Yeah, if probably the best idea she did wear that blindfold, actually.
Yeah. It's like SPF 500 though.
Exactly. Which I suppose in a way is fitting as well because the puppeteer who performs her is a red-headed Irish woman, so she probably has to wear a large amount of sunscreen as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically she kind of has the way she works in this episode is almost kind of like a Dorothy Wizard of Oz kind of figure where she's going into this unknown world and coming across someone who ends up becoming an ally towards her. Including having to fight off a giant spider. So yeah, there's the giant spider. By using so Hop swings in and then gets wound up with the webbing from the spider.
Hence why they call those spitters.
Yeah. Oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah, remember?
I must have missed that. But yeah, Deet basically uses him like a human or podling swing ball as a way to make it ward off. Like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, attack him for me with your face.
Yeah. Podling use slam attack. It's super effective.
No, there would be headbutt.
Headbutt, yes.
Spitter flinched and then ran away. But yeah, so that's basically Deet's part of the episode, is coming across Hup, which when you put on the stream chat before the stream started, it's Hup. For a second, I thought you spelled Huck wrong.
Oh, no.
So sort of like, is that Huck's cousin? And then I realized, oh, it's the Pogling in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Huck would not be very happy if you got his name wrong, would you?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically Deet's part of the episode.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the part with how do you pronounce, is it Rain or Rianne?
Rianne.
Yeah, Rianne. I thought it was.
Yeah.
So Rianne and what's the guy with the dreadlocks name again? Gurjin. Yeah, so basically, Rianne saw his girlfriend die in the previous episode by having her essence sucked out, and the Skeksis have twisted this to the Gelflings that Rianne actually murdered her, so now he's a fugitive as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he's telling, basically through dream fasting, he lets his friend know what actually happened. So now they're going to go and try and prove to the other Gelflings that the Skeksis did in fact kill her.
Yeah, by getting the last little bit of essence that they locked away.
Absolutely, yes. And this part reminded me a lot of Game of Thrones, which, to be fair, I've not watched that much of Game of Thrones, but I've seen bits, and this whole thing about, political deception and allegiances being formed through it, it did remind me a lot of something you would read in a very politically charged fantasy story.
Yeah, no, and I've noticed like a lot of throughout the mid to late 2000s, everyone and their dogs seem to be making their own sort of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I guess this is
including
sort of,
you, actually.
Yeah,
because you made your own version of Aragon.
Yep, that too. But kind of Game of Thrones for kids is this one, I guess.
Which, yeah, it's like, if you want to, why don't you explain actually where your online name came from that fantasy story you created?
No, Rocky.
I know originally that was from Neopets, but it also kind of was influenced by your fantasy story.
No, it wasn't actually.
Oh, was it not?
No. Rocky Fennec is just because Fennec Fox is my persona.
Yeah, okay. Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking of your character from that story, Rurik.
Yeah, Rurik, yeah.
Yeah, that's based on your last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got mixed up there.
Yeah, anyway.
Yes, anyway. This will happen a lot in the streams. Me and Rocky tend to go off on tangents on things that are not really relevant when we chat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
saying this is better than Game of Thrones.
Yes, I can see that.
Yes.
Which
the ending is definitely more satisfying than Game of Thrones.
I still haven't seen the whole series yet, but I'm more interested in this than Game of Thrones just from the puppetry and visuals alone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's basically what's going on with those guys. Oh yeah, so the princess.
Brea.
So yes, Brea, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically she ends up finding this symbol in a book and wants to find out what the symbol means. So let's see if I can try and get a shot of her showing it to this soothsayer guy here.
Mm-hmm. So she goes and does the most logical thing is to ask Eddie Izzard for advice. Yeah,
so the soothsayer is played by Eddie Izzard, who for a second I couldn't quite recognize it was him because he speaks in this sort of Scottish accent. But yeah, no, after a while, I really could notice it was Eddie Izzard. It was really, really... And I love seeing... I've not mentioned it before, but Eddie Izzard's my favorite stand-up comedian. I absolutely love his stuff. And he's a really good actor as well, so it's really good to see him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she goes to the soothsayer to find out what this symbol is. But the soothsayer, did they explain why he wanted to make her forget?
No, they just know that this would be dangerous to dig around in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brea destroy.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah, so basically the soothsayer tries to make Brea forget this symbol is even a thing because it apparently means the end of the world. So he spikes her drink with a drug that will make her forget, which, yeah, like there you can see, which there's so many jokes I can make about that, and I'm sure I will when we get to the riff part, but she's clever and then literally turns the tables by switching the drinks and making him forget instead.
Yeah.
And so his assistant, who I suppose is also a soothsayer, tells her that she thinks, hang on, get a shot of the assistant. There she is. She believes that it actually means the beginning of something new in the world. So effectively, what it is from her point of view, the equivalent of, well, actually, what she says was death and rebirth, same thing, which is what Aughra said in the first movie, effectively.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's also very similar to the death card in the tarot, because despite, looking literally like the Grim Reaper, death means change in the tarot.
Exactly, yeah.
Just make sure you don't get the happy squirrel.
Don't get the happy squirrel.
Or in this case, it would be the grumpy Fizzgig.
Yeah.
Which I forgot to mention that with Deet, is that she comes across Fizzgig, actually.
Yeah. Well, a Fizzgig.
Well, she comes across two, actually.
Yeah.
So it's not made clear if this is the same Fizzgig from the first movie.
I don't think it is.
No, but like I said, I mentioned how Fizzgig reminded me of Chewbacca in terms of his role in the movie, and Chewbacca is also insanely old in the Star Wars lore, so maybe the same thing happens here. Hello, Zion Craze. But yeah, so she comes across two Fizzgigs. Do they appear anymore in the series?
I think they occasionally appear, just in background shots. They're just little guys.
Yeah, because Fizzgig in the first movie had quite a significant role. I mean, he even ends up helping to save the day in the end.
There is a Fizzgig later that's more of the character.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I also love the bit where let's see if I can find it.
Fizzgig are more like very smart dogs.
Yeah, so I love the bit where it rolls onto its belly.
Yeah,
and to be fair, we did see it had feet in the first movie, but it was a lot more harder to tell. I love how you can see the feet properly here. It's just like these little monkey feet.
Yeah.
And also, you make it more clear that it has a tail, which I didn't notice in the first movie, but yeah, they have little fox tails, and I didn't spot that the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot to mention that about Fizzgig. So yeah, basically with Rian and his friend, they go to the Science Skeksis lab to try and retrieve the last vial of essence in order to prove that their friend was killed. So it's in the cage there. But in the process of doing so, the scientist... Well, actually, first what happens is that the Chamberlain shows up to take the essence. I'm presuming so that he can gain favor with the Emperor, because the Emperor is impatient to get more essence.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So Fizzgig are more like very smart dogs. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he tries to steal the essence from the scientist, and then the scientist comes in, who initially he doesn't know that the Chamberlain has stolen the essence, but it ends up turning into this kind of what Hitchcock called the bomb under the table scene, where we know that Rain and his friend are in the room, and we also know that the Chamberlain has the vial. So it's one of those situations where each character knows something that the other ones don't know. So it was a really interesting scene in terms of tension, actually.
Yeah. And the funniest thing happens. They start hissing at each other.
Yeah.
Anna.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah.
No, they literally start hissing at each other.
Yeah, like a bunch of mean cats.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, with the way in which the Skeksis kind of made out to be like fat, corrupt politicians, that is effectively like, the equivalent of a politician cat fight.
Yeah. The Skeksis are the fat cats of this world.
Exactly. Except they're birds, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so eventually all the facades get revealed. The scientist realizes that the Chamberlain was trying to steal from him, and the Gelflings get exposed as well. And in the process, Rien is able to... Rien, is able to get the vial of essence and then runs out of the palace in this really, really good shot. Let's see if I can show it, actually, because I really like the way this shot was done. I mean, him running is obviously CGI, but even then, it's really seamless, and you can't tell that it's not actually a puppet. So let's just skip ahead a little bit more.
Yeah, it's right there, I think.
Yeah, here we go. So yeah, that obviously you can tell that wasn't a puppet, that was CGI, but it does really, really look convincing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't seem too contrasting to the puppetry. You believe that both are the same thing.
Yeah, plus the lighting effects, I think.
Oh yeah, the lighting really helps, especially with the sun.
Glare.
Was it sunrise or sunset in this scene? I couldn't quite tell.
I believe this would be sunset.
Yeah, because I think it was daylight when they went in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the sunset gives a really beautiful orangey red color, and it not only helps with the visual look, but it also helps with the sort of visual drama of the scene. It really makes it a lot more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that.
Yeah.
And also, is came to this part is also the very first time we get to see. Hang on, just scroll back. First time we get to see a Gelfling swim.
Mm-hmm.
And with
this was actually a puppet, though.
I can tell actually, yeah, the way it's moving, I could tell that it was a real puppet.
Yeah, a lot of people in green screen suits. If you see like a behind the scenes footage of this.
Or it's even actually the same way in which they did the alien puppets for the Argos adverts a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly the same way.
And Jim Henson has got a history of doing that, because it's also the same way in which they did the puppets for the fire song in Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
And also for the scenes where Elmo was walking upright and you saw his legs in Elmo and Grouchland.
Yep. Yeah, no. Yeah, like Anna's saying, the CGI assets don't overwhelm the practicals.
Yeah, it assists and it doesn't override the practicals. And it absolutely, yeah, it's very, very seamless.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like when we were talking, I always felt it was unfair with Gelflings how females have wings and the males don't seem to get any unique thing. But Rocky suggested that they're much better at swimming.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they've got like those little delicate wings that get all waterlogged.
Yeah, so maybe they are. Maybe that is what their benefit is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so eventually the princess gets confronted over drugging the soothsayer, and what did they sentence her to again?
The Order of Lesser Service.
That's it, which in my mind I was just thinking like the Egyptian times, where it means that she has to be the bum wiper to the Skeksis.
Oh god.
Or she has to tend to that one that's got all the boils on its face.
Oh no. Yeah.
But yeah, so basically she's being made a peasant as punishment for what she did.
Mm-hmm. They're sending her to juvenile hall.
Yeah. Or Borstal.
Yeah.
We're sending you to Borstal.
That's just what they call it in England, right?
Yeah, Borstal is basically, it's more like an enforced school than it is juvenile hall, but effectively that's what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, so eventually we come with the Skeksis at the end. So the Chamberlain and the scientists are brought before the Emperor for their actions because they lost the vial and they got into a fight. And Chamberlain, like the crafty little backstabbing politician he is, throws the scientist under the bus by making it seem that it was his fault, that the Chamberlain was actually trying to get the vial back from the Gelflings who tried to steal it in the first place. So the scientist is the one who ends up getting punished.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the punishment in question is not pleasant at all.
Uh-huh.
Despite the fact that the name of the thing that they used to punish him, Peeper Beetles, is weirdly really cute sounding.
Yeah. The cuter something sounds in this, the more horrifying it is.
Yeah, so that's
remember what you were saying when they were dragging him off?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, give me the comfy chair instead.
I want the comfy chair instead. But yeah, so that's a peeper beetle, so called because presumably it eats your peepers, literally. Mm-hmm. So if we see here.
Jeepers creepers.
Yeah. And what was it you said right after that moment?
Emmy Award for Best Children's Programming.
Yes. Which To be fair, I suppose that realistically there's not too much in this that's intense for kids, but still, it wasn't necessarily a show I associated as being specifically for children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, like, it's a PG rating.
Yeah, but
hard PG.
Very much. It's a PG that earns its PG, like the original movie was.
Yeah, it's an 80s PG.
Very much so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this scene reminded me a lot of the scene in Wrath of Khan, where Khan puts the worms into what was it again? It was Chekhov and Captain Tyrrell. Yeah, Chekhov and Captain Tyrrell. They put their spacesuit helmets on them with these worms on their heads that burrowed into their ears to basically mind control them. It's effectively the same thing what's happening here, except it just eats his eye.
Yeah. Well, remember he had a fake eye in the movie?
That is true, yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which, there's an interesting theory I heard about the Skeksis, is that, I mean, to be fair, in this movie, there's 8 of them because the Emperor hasn't died yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a theory in the movie, well, the theory for the movie anyway, that the Skeksis were based off of the 7 deadly sins.
I had heard that, yeah. I don't think they're all one-to-one enough, though.
No, I mean, some of them it makes sense. Like the Chamberlain, I could definitely see as being envy.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got the Gourmand, who's gluttony, obviously.
Obviously, he's gluttony, yes.
Yeah.
And I suppose that the guy who became the emperor in the movie would be Vanity, because he's all about getting his youth back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, I don't see. I'm not sure which one would be Lust. I really don't see which one that would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting theory, but I don't think it quite holds water.
Yeah.
It's like, I screamed, you screamed, the scientist especially screamed.
Yep.
He very much did. And it's also because it's Mark Hamill doing the voice of the scientist, as we mentioned last week, and he does screaming really, really well.
Yep.
But yeah, so effectively, most of this episode was continuing on the plot threads that established in the previous episode and introducing a few new characters.
Mm-hmm.
Anna's just asked the general, I guess he'd maybe be Wrath.
Yeah.
Which also, yeah, the general, he's the one who's voiced by Harvey Fierstein, isn't he?
No, that's the Gourmand.
The Gourmand, okay. Which, yes, I'm sure he was in the previous episode, but this was one where the Gourmand was more prominently featured at the beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I found out he was voiced by Harvey Fierstein. Because initially I thought it was Mark Hamill again, because Mark Hamill in his grumpy, kind of gruff voice sounds a lot like Harvey Fierstein. But no, it's somebody else.
Yeah.
Who, Harvey Fierstein, if you're not familiar with him, hang on, my nose is running a little bit.
Oh dear. You're
when
the collector.
When we get into hay fever season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Harvey Fierstein was the guy who made Robin Williams into Mrs. Doubtfire and Mrs. Doubtfire, and he was also in Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So just play a bit so we can...
Fail you, my lord?
I do hope not. For the sake of all the good and loyal creatures.
It actually kind of looks like Harvey Fierstein as well.
Kinda, yeah.
Because he does have quite a broad, large nose and a really kind of tucked in chin.
Yeah. Oh, he was also in Mulan.
Yes, he was. He played Yao.
Yao, the little guy.
Yeah, King of the Rock.
Yep.
Which, speaking of that sort of thing, also found out that another one of the Skeksis in the movie, I forget which one, but was voiced by Benedict Wong, which I did not know.
The General.
That was it. Yeah, that was the General. Yeah. Who, again, if you're not familiar with Benedict Wong, he plays Wong in the MCU, and he also played Moss's mentor in the IT Crowd episode about Countdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, who was like, he's a really good actor, Benedict Wong, so it's really cool to see him.
Yeah. Howdy.
Hutchsonian, howdy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's basically the plot of the episode. In terms of things that really stick out about the episode, I'm really, really appreciating... Yeah, we know Benedict Wong is the General, and we just said that, but thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really digging the visuals of this show. It gets better every episode as far as I'm seeing, and especially with the lighting. The lighting is absolutely gorgeous in this episode. They really do make good advantage of both sunrise and sunset, and it looks amazing.
Yeah. Like, just, you really get kind of a sense of time and place.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's all digital compositing. It's not real sunlight, but it still looks really good.
Especially in this scene, like, the sunlight is so, like, bright and everything is so colorful. That's probably, like, Deet's probably getting a little sensory overload from just
probably,
all of this.
yeah. And they also have what I like to call the morning fingers, which is when, as the sun rises and the sun starts shining, there's little beams of light that crawl into every little nook and cranny like fingers. And you can see that here as it's bouncing off of the edge of that tree root. And I love the fact that they put that attention to detail in there. It looks great.
Yeah.
Zion Craig just said, honestly, I've started watching the series and I think I've enjoyed it more than the movie itself, which... yeah, we recommended that to you last time, and yeah, so far I'm definitely enjoying this more than the movie. The movie was good, but it definitely was a movie that seemed to fall short of its full potential. This seems to be where that full potential could be.
Yeah, no, Jim Henson had like so many notes.
Yeah.
On just this world in general, so this is kind of their chance to finally get to.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than that Robot Chicken sketch about the potential sequel to Dark Crystal, where they rapped about the whole plot of the movie.
The Dark Crystal.
Yeah. And then at the end, well, we did what we could, Jim. And they just drink poison and kill themselves.
Yeah.
Hutchinsonia, Deet's a mood, the sunlight burns.
Yeah.
I was also saying... because the very first thing we see is Aughra's podling attendant waking up for the morning and getting her awake. And yeah, you see this bit where he's eating porridge, which they make it look like the most gross-looking porridge you could possibly imagine. So just play it a bit. It just looks so gross. But also I'm thinking, when in the real world, when they were doing this shot, where did the porridge go inside that puppet?
I think it was just like Cookie Monster, you know, it just kind of goes nom nom nom.
And it falls out. But I just imagine that the puppeteer inside his hand inside that puppet is just covered with porridge after he's finished.
I don't think the puppets have digestive systems. They don't go anywhere.
Well, they have, like we said in the previous one, in the first movie, they have reproductive systems.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But yeah. I also really kind of like the way the podling looks in this scene. It just looks so fed up having to constantly attend a woman who's basically comatose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, nothing too significant in this episode compared to the first one in terms of plot, but
more of a part two.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a follow-up sort of thing. I can tell there's more or less a bridge between more significant episodes.
Yeah, no, the next episode definitely is where things really start to kick off.
Yeah. But anything you want to say, Rocky?
Not really. I think you pretty much covered it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to seem like I'm talking over you. You're as much of a part of this as I am.
Oh no, it's just kind of fun watching a newbie.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So you're my guide through this mysterious world.
Yep.
Okay. Well, since we've done that, let's get on to the riffs then. So we did a few of them already as we were going through the recap. So
yeah.
Oh, here we go. So, do you remember what this one was? So, do you want to say it when we get to it?
Yep. First you get the money. Then you get the power. Then you get the women.
What we're saying is Aughra needs to go easy on the cocaine.
Yeah, look at her nose.
Yeah. Oh, exactly, yeah. So it looks like... I'm trying to think of a celebrity that destroyed their septum through cocaine who isn't dead now. So maybe I'll skip that one.
Yeah.
But that's basically dust because she's been asleep for so long, but it did look like cocaine. It was probably cornstarch what they actually used.
Yeah.
So.
Where's the bathroom? I just woke up. Oh, he beat us. Cyan Craze did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Aww.
Yeah. Fizzgig.
I'm gonna bite you.
Yeah. He's so cute, though.
He's very cute. I like how they sound even more like dogs in this one. In the first one, they just made these kind of generic growling noises.
Yeah. Did you know it's actually the same puppeteer for the Fizzgigs as there was in the original movies?
Really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
How old would you be this at this point?
Oh, pretty old, I imagine. Let's see.
Fail you, my lord?
I do hope not. For the sake of all the good and loyal creatures of...
He is now 77.
The puppeteer for Fizzgig.
Yep. He also did Gonzo.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I put down a note for this, but I can't remember what the joke was.
Yeah.
Oh well, skip to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This part.
Yeah.
Got to try and be precise on this one.
Mm-hmm.
To see the truth for yourself.
Okay.
Drink fast with me.
I just don't feel that way about you.
Aw. Look, I know you're sad. Your girlfriend just died. You're looking for a rebound, but I'm not comfortable with that.
I still can't help but see like the dream fasting as the equivalent of having sex for the Gelflings.
Yeah. It's not that deep.
Which, like I said, they effectively did do that for Avatar with their equivalent of dream fasting was sex, effectively.
Mm-hmm. But then they do that with the horses and stuff.
Yeah, which is really weird when you think about it.
Yeah. Best not think too hard about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just made myself full screen by mistake there.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we did that one already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You do this one because you came up with it.
Okay, yeah.
You have a magic spoon?
Sponsors this video. Come taste our weird, expensive cereal.
That turns the cereal purple color, the milk purple colored for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Although to be fair, Lucky Charms do that as well.
Yeah.
Which is like, if there's any British people here, it's like, have you ever Up's face?
Yeah. Not impressed with our shilling for someone who's not even sponsoring us.
But yeah, any British people here, have you ever had Lucky Charms? And if so, what do you think of them? Because I think they're an okay cereal, but I've had much better sweet cereals.
Mm-hmm.
The best sweet cereal I've ever had was Tim Hortons Timbits birthday cake cereal. That is delicious.
Wow.
It's really, really good.
Mm. I like Cocoa Krispies myself.
They're okay. I'm not the biggest fan of chocolate-based cereal. It's like my go-to for sweet cereals, because I can't find the Tim Hortons one in this country in every supermarket. My go-to for sweet cereals is Golden Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Honey Nut Cheerios, though, is probably my favorite sweet cereal.
They're sweet, but they're also still healthy for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and they still got that Cheerio on them. They just got a little glaze.
Yeah, so you still got the oats and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We already did that one, so
are y'all just making up cereals?
Yeah. Hang on. You sell Lucky Charms at Zion Grace. Do you work in a supermarket? Are y'all just making up cereals? No, these are really all actual cereals that exist.
Yep.
I've never had Count Chocula though, because they don't sell them in this country. I know that they're more of a seasonal thing in America, but I've never been in Canada or America when they bring them out, so I've never had a chance to try them.
Yeah. Oh, you sell them in B&M, so like the
Yes, B&M is a surplus store. They sell products that get basically thrown out by the big stores.
yeah, it's like a TK Maxx for
For just
non-clothes.
well, they do sell clothes, but they sell everything in B&M.
Yeah.
Lion is a chocolate bar. You are correct, but yeah, there is also a cereal, Lion cereal.
Is it related to the chocolate bar?
Yes, it's the same company.
Ah, interesting.
But yeah, B&M's a good place to find surplus stuff from duty-free shops.
Yeah, I have some. I actually have these from B&M. They're just little trays.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I use them for like when I'm doing my crafts and stuff to hold little bits.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes, this bit with the snake.
Yep.
So I'll just cut back a little bit, actually. So yeah, so the scientist uses this snake as a lock, which is a really cool idea, I have to say.
Keep inquisitive hands to themselves.
So yeah, the snake winds around the knobs and it contracts in to keep it closed, which is a really cool idea. It's a really interesting world-building part of the, franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Although you brought up, how did that creature evolve?
Yeah, exactly. Or is this something the scientist just made?
Yeah, I get the feeling it might have been something he cultivated.
Yeah. Cyan Craze, there aren't any B&Ms in America, but I have been to ones when I visited the UK.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because I have family who live in the UK.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the Chamberlain comes... Oh, hang on, no.
Oh, yeah.
This one first. So you can do this one.
What do you think this thing does?
Don't touch anything.
I forgot what our joke here was.
Palace Guard, everybody.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I said Captain of the Guard erroneously because I thought that was his title, but he's just a regular guard. But yeah, it's sort of like a Palace Guard just walks into the place that he's sneaking into. It's like, ooh, what does this do?
Yeah, like imagine, the crown jewels.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Chamberlain comes in here to get the lock off to give the essence, which he does this way. Oh no, sorry, I went a bit too far ahead.
Yeah.
So he's literally hypnotizing him to go to sleep. A snake, so it's basically reverse Car from the Jungle Book.
Yep.
Which is especially true by what the Chamberlain then does to the snake, which is this. So it's literally a reverse Car from the Jungle Book, except this time he actually does get to eat the thing he hypnotized.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Anna's saying, according to the RPG book, because there's like a little spin-off RPG game.
Yes, I've seen it.
Of this. Snake has very hard scales. Then you see what the Chamberlain does with it.
Yeah, he literally he eats a very hard-scaled creature.
Yeah.
Still, are your teeth titanium?
Yeah.
Which is actually funny because during this scene of the whole tension going on, there's a bit where he's trying to blag out that the Gelflings are the ones that unlock the lock, but then the scientist says, if I can find the bit where he says it.
Mm-hmm.
See.
Who is he? You pilfered the vial. Not I. Must have been Gelfling. I might have believed you if not for the lock snake bits in your teeth.
So he literally saw the bits of the lock in his teeth.
Yeah.
Which I love that bit.
Mm-hmm. Can't get away with nothing.
Yeah.
He's like, damn it, I have to go to the hardware store now and get more lock snakes.
Oh yes, so this bit. You had a good part for this bit.
Yeah.
What if I
Look out! It's a penknife!
Looks more like a can opener to me.
Yeah. Skeksis are failing at being civilized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
they're then the Skeksis have a chat with Rien's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we missed that part in the recap. So they have a chat with Rian's dad, and they convince him that Rian killed the girl in the previous episode and also stole the essence. And so his dad says, "Can you help heal him?" Which they agree to, but their plan is to actually drain him and his dad of essence once he finds him again.
Mm-hmm. So they've sent the dad out to look for him.
Yes. So we forgot to mention that when we were doing the recap.
Yeah. Oh, and they also told him not to dream fast with Rien because they're like, oh.
Yeah, so if he doesn't find out the truth.
Yeah.
You had a good bit for this part as well. So.
Yeah.
When we fail ourselves,
We must be punished.
when we fail each other,
We must be punished.
This is just an average Sunday for a Catholic.
It really is.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this is not too unlike what the Spanish Inquisition did to people when they actually did suffer, sans the comfy chair, of course.
Mm-hmm. If the Spanish Inquisition had the peeper beetle, you know they'd use it.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's all the jokes, because we already did the one about the Emmy Award-winning children's show.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that'll probably be it for the day, though we do have one announcement for something that we have planned for the future in relation to this. So
Oh boy.
do you want to say it, Rocky?
You arranged it. You do the honors.
Okay. So we mentioned that we had someone planned for an interview, and that person in question is Becky Henderson, who is the puppeteer of Deet. You all may also recognize her as being a character from the sitcom Derry Girls.
Mm-hmm.
So we've arranged for her to do an interview on well, I won't say the date just so that we've got a bit of freedom, but it'll be in, maybe a month or so time. So if you have any questions for Becky Henderson, then please let us know. We'll send them to her in advance to check if she wants to answer them or not. And if she does, then we'll ask them to her on the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So,
session.
Yeah. So, yeah, got any questions for Becky Henderson about her time on the show or the show in general, then let us know and we'll put them to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's everything. So, any last words to say, Rocky?
Just, I'm really looking forward to next week because the show's getting really good.
I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm really enjoying this.
Good.
But yeah, so thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.